So let me share my screen now. We will go through first of all what is statistics and what are the types of statistics, so that we can get some insight of the statistics. Okay. If you have any queries, please chat me in that chat box so that I can answer for your queries. So let me start with what is statistics. Basically, stats are of two types. So first one is descriptive statistics. Descriptive stats, and the other one is inferential statistics. So what's this descriptive statistics means? So this descriptive statistics is used to deal with the presentation of your data or your collection of data. Okay, so this is usually the first part of the statistics. So it is allow you to categorize your data based on its properties. Okay, so this descriptive statistics are of four types. So first one is about measure of tendency. Okay. So descriptive statistics are of four major categories. The first one is about measure of tendency. So in this measure of tendency, we can able to calculate the count, percentage of the distribution, then frequency of the distribution, and the source, how often something will occurs. Okay, so then use this when you want to show how often your response is given. So this kind of it's a measure of frequency, not tendency. I'm so sorry. Okay, so in the measure of tendency, we can in a measure of tendency we can calculate mean, median, and mode of the data. Then it is used to locate the distribution by various points, and use this when you want to show how an average or most commonly indicated response. Okay, so it is one of the descriptive statistics. So if you want to calculate mean or median or mode of your data, then we can go with this measure of tendency. So the other one is measure of frequency. So in this measure of frequency, we can calculate the count, percentage, and the frequency. So it will show how often something will occur, and use this when you want to show how often your response is given. Okay, so if you want to check how often your response is given for the particular data or the particular variable, we can use this measure of frequency. Okay, so the second one is about measure of dispersion or variation. Okay, in this measure of dispersion or variation, we can able to calculate the range and variance and standard deviation for the particular variable in the data. Okay, then it is used to identify the spread of scores by stating the intervals. Okay, so we can calculate the ranges between input, low input to the high inputs. So variance or standard deviation equal to difference between the observed mean or observed score or mean. Okay, so use this when you want to show how spread out the data are. So if you want to check how spread out the data, how spread out of your data, we can use this measure of dispersion or variation in descriptive statistics. Then measure of portion. Okay, so in this measure of portion, we can calculate percentile ranks and quartile ranks. Okay, it describes how scores falls in relation to another. That is, it relies mostly on standardized scores. So you can use this when you need to compare scores to a normalized score. Okay, so in the descriptive statistics, there are four major parts. So first one is about measure of tendency, and second one is about measure of frequency, and third one is about dispersion and variation, and fourth measure is portion. Okay, so any doubts on this descriptive stats? Okay, so let me go for the inferential statistics. So stats is basically of two types. So first one is descriptive statistics and second one is about inferential statistics. Okay, so the next one is inferential statistics. Okay, so this inferential statistics is basically involves to draw the right conclusion from the statistical analysis that has been performed using descriptive statistics. So if you want to make some inference from the descriptive statistics, then we can use this inferential stats. Okay, so basically inferential statistics can be done on most of the statistical tests, like we can use parametric test and a non-parametric test. So inferential statistic is used to draw the right conclusion from the descriptive stats. Okay, so this inferential statistic can be classified into two categories. So first one is parametric test and second one is about non-parametric test. Okay, so what's this parametric and non-parametric test? So if you want to conduct some inferential statistic on the on the output that you got from the descriptive statistics, then we can choose any of these tests, that is any of the tests from the parametric or non-parametric test. Okay, so parametric statistic, that is one that makes assumption about the parameters of the population when one data is drawn. Okay, so we have to choose how the parametric test will be chosen and how the non-parametric, that is when to choose parametric test and when to choose non-parametric test. Okay, so it's purely based on your data distribution. Okay, so it is based on your data distribution. Okay, so we can say that when your data is distributed normally, then we can choose parametric test. Okay, so when your data follows a normal distribution, then we can go with parametric test. For example, your data should be looks like. Okay, so your data should follow like this bell curve. Okay, it is called as, so if your data looks like this bell curve, then you should follow parametric test. Okay, Then how to check whether your data is distributed normally or normal or non-normal. Okay, so for that we can see some terms like skewness. Okay, so if the skewness is present in your data, then the non-parametric test should be used. Okay, so for checking non-normal distribution, so there are several ways a distribution can be non-normal. So a small sample size or unusual set of response are common cause of non-normal distribution. Okay, usually if the data is non-normal, statistical test called a non-parametric test can be used. Okay, so whenever data is non-normal, follows a non-normal distribution, then we can choose non-parametric test. Non-parametric test. Then, so this non-parametric test, to calculate the non-normal distribution of the data, we can see the skewness of the data. Okay, this type of distribution does not take the shape of the familiar bell curve and can be skewed positively or negatively. So whenever you want to check the skewness, we can check for the two type of skewness. First one is positively skewed. Next one is negatively skewed. So what is meant by positively skewed and what is meant by negatively skewed? For example, if our data is raised on the left side of your hand, then it is called as positively skewed. And it is called as positively skewed. If your data is raised towards your right hand, then it is called as negatively skewed. Got it? So we can check the data whenever it doesn't follow the normal distribution, then we can check for skewness and kurtosis. So next one is kurtosis. This one is describes a distribution that either too peaked or too flat. Okay, for example, if the data is distributed okay, to check for the kurtosis, then we can see either any of the distribution have peaked value. For example, so it's a peaked one. Okay, this box represents the peaked value. If any of the value sorry, it's a flat one, it's not a peaked value. It represents the flat kurtosis. If our data is distributed like this, then we can say it is peaked. Okay, so whenever your data follows these types of distribution, then you should use non-parametric test for checking or for doing some inferences on your data. Then what is mean by independent measure and what is mean by independent variable? What is mean by dependent variable? So independent variable will not depends on any variable to get the value. So those type of variables is called as independent variable. Okay. For example, when you consider an equation y equal to mx plus c, those mx plus c is called as independent variable. Got it? This y is called as dependent variable. Because this y value will depend upon the values of mx plus c. So this one is called as dependent variable. Okay. So in the statistics, instead of using the independent variable and independent variable, we can say we can measure independent measure based on the independent variable, and we can use repeated measure for depending the for calculating the dependent variable distributions. Okay. So let me start my SPSS. SPSS tool. Are you guys able to see my SPSS screen now? Hello? Are you all able to hear me? Okay, thank you. Let me open and sample example file. Actually, in our last session, we have shown you how to open the data set and how to create a new data set using SPSS and how to do sampling techniques. If you want me to repeat the same, then I will go through in 5 to 10 minutes, or else we can start with the new one. What shall I do now? Shall I repeat the last session detail for 5 to 10 minutes, or shall I start with the new one? Hello? Huh? I couldn't hear you. Okay. So let me give you a quick summary on this, how to create some data set using SPSS. Okay. So let me create using this new data set tab. Click on open. Okay, double click on new data set. Then you can able to see two screens, like one is for output and other one is for your data set view. Okay, in this data set view, you can see two types of views. First one is data view and second one is the variable view. In this data view, you can see your records as well as the column name, that is called as variables. Okay, in this variable view, you can able to add your variables and your variable data type and what are all the labels that you want to insert in your variable. Okay, so what will be the measure of that variable? For example, let me add name. So name should contain strings. I should choose this string, then click on OK. Then I have set this at width as 50. Okay, then I am choosing this as measure as nominal, because it will contain many categories, because name should not be same for everyone, so we have to measure it using nominal. Then second entry is a gender. I can set it as string. I can set it as 10. So in this label I can give label as well as value. For value 1 it should be male. For value 2 it should be female. Okay, so it is also a nominal one. Then age, it should be numeric 1. Okay, we can measure it through scale. Then education, qualification, it should be string, and we can make it as ordinal, because it should follow some orders, like if you have to enter your first 10th mark, then 12th, then UG, PG, then MPhil, then doctorate. Okay, so that you can make the measure as ordinal. Got it? So it will be your variable view. If you check this in data view, you can see the variable name as name, gender, age, and educational qualification. So you can simply enter your name here. Okay, so this is how we want to import our or type our surveyed questionnaires in SPSS. Got it? So now let me open a new data set. You can use this file option. Already I have two data set here. So the first one is data set 1. So it is the data set that I have collected from Gaggle. It is composed of HR analytics data. Totally this data set is composed of 36 features. Okay, so let me open this data set file into the SPSS. For that I have to choose this option, file, open data, then select CSV format, because my data set are in CSV format. Choose on data set 1, then open. It will generate your preview data. Okay, for that, next you can select the decimal symbol as comma. Next, comma. Instead of using space, please use comma. That will be your identifier, sorry, delimiter. Then next, and click on finish. So there is some error with my loading the file. Last time itself I received the same error. So let me check. This command is not valid before your working file has been defined. Let me close this file. Import data. Sorry. This cannot be open. It's taking some minutes for preview. Let me restart my SPSS again. Okay. Just give me a moment. Sorry for the delay. I think it's throwing the same error. Failure opening file. Execution of the command stops. This command is not it. Okay. Okay. So basically the error might be due to the I have saved the document in a C colon. I don't know, that might be the issue. Anyhow, I have opened the dataset now. So now you all can able to see my dataset here. So this dataset is totally composed of 35 variables. Okay. So 35 columns and 4,470 records. So what is meant by population here is, if you have considered the whole data set, then that is called as population. Let me take a consider an example. Like if you want to take the COVID-19 entire world data set, then that is called as population. If you want to take only the India COVID-19 records, so if you pick that India records, then that is called as sample. Okay. So for doing that kind of samplings in statistics, there are two types of sampling techniques available. So one is probability based and other one is non-probability based. Okay. So sampling techniques are classified into two categories. First one is probability based. Again, this probability based is classified into random sampling, then systematic sampling, then stratified sampling, then cluster sampling. Then another type of sampling is non-probability based. The first one is, in that non-probability based, we can see 4 subcategories. Like first one is convenience sampling, second one voluntary response sampling, next purposive sampling, other one is snowball sampling. Okay. So let me give example on this random, how to do probability sampling. So we can see how to do random sampling on this data set. Okay. So go through this data. You can see select cases here. Click on this select case. So the entire data set here, the entire data set is considered as the population. So if I want to select some samples from this data set, then I can choose this kind of technique. Okay. So if I want to select some random samples for some random samples, for example, I can set approximately as 40% of all cases. Okay. Or 50% of all cases. Then if I want to make the sampled data set as the entire new data set, and I would like to name it as sample 1, then click on OK. You can able to see the sample 1 here. Are you able to see the two data set here? So this data set 3 is the original data set, and sample 1 is the one that we got from the sampling technique. Okay. So for this one, we have used random sampling. So randomly we have choosing some percentage to calculate the, to extract some samples from the data. Got it? Then again go to select case. We can choose based on some conditions. For example, if condition is satisfied, then click on this if. I want to extract the cases where age is greater than or equal to 40. Okay. So let me click on this continue, and I would look to name this extracted sample should be sample 2. Extracted one should be sample 2. Then click on OK. Now you can able to see this untitled 6 as sample 2. You can check this age column. We can get the, we got the cases those whose age are greater than 40. So the total number of samples that we got from the population is 522. Cases have the peoples those whose age are greater than 40. Then let me do sample based on some time or case range. Then I want to case range from the 10 to 100. Click on continue, and I want to make it as sample 3. Click on OK. Now you can able to see the 3 samples that I extracted from the population. Okay, so the first one is a random sampling, and second one is using some condition, and third one is using some ranges. So now I can able to see 1 to 9 should be strike out. I want to get the cases from 10 to 100. So the other cases would be strike out. Got it? Let me check on the other condition. So use filter. If I want to use this as filter, for example, based on the education, click on sample 4. So the entire data set would be extracted here. Because we have not set any condition for extracting based on the educational condition. So this is the summary of sampling techniques. Okay. So let me open this data set file again. So now we want to look into the sending variable across to a different tab and performing calculation on your data, and how to recode your data, how to replace your missing values in the data, and how to insert a new variable or splitting file comments. Okay. Let me open a new data set, and I want to close this output file. Let me open a new data set. Data. Just select on this. Click on day 1 data set. Next, set as comma. Next, comma. Next, finish. So in this data set, I have considered four variables in the name of gender, math score, reading score, and writing score, and totally I have considered 300 records. Okay. So let me do some calculation on the data and how to send one variable to the other tab. Okay. For that, I have to choose data. Then go to define variable properties. Compute data. Okay, compute data. Go to this menu, transform, then select compute data. Click on this tab, and you can name your target variable as average. Okay, I have named the target variable as average. I want to make the average of these scores, math score, reading score, and writing score. For that, I want to open this curly brace, then include this math score, plus include this reading score, plus include this writing score. It's an average, so divided by 3. Okay. Let me click on OK. Now you can able to see a one variable added in your data set in the name of average. So this is how we can send our variable to the next step, and we can do some computation on our data. So you can able to check now what will be the variable for these math score and writing score. Okay. So then I want to recode my variables to a different variable. Okay, so if you want to recode this average variable to a different variable, like we have 5 variables here, if I want to rename that average variable to the other variable, then I can go with this recode into different variable. Okay, so I can set this average, and what will be your output variable? I can say mean name label. You can choose the rank. So I would like to name the output variable as rank. So I want to make the rank based on the averages. Okay, for that I have to choose this old and new. Click on this condition. If I want to give some ranges, for example, if average is 0 to 34, then the value should be 0. Okay, so if the average, because I have considered here as average, if the average of the student or gender, if the average should lies between 0 to 35, the rank would be 0. Okay, if the average is 36 to 50, then the rank will be 1. Add. If the range of average between 51 to 75, I can give them as rank 2. Add. If the range is 76 to 100, then 90, I can give them as 3. Add. Then all other cases I can give them as 4. So rather than these value, the other values should be replaced as 4. Add. Okay, else 4. Now click on this continue. Label, we want to change this label as okay. Let me click on this. Okay, now you will see a extra variable added here in the name of rank. So this is how we can recode our existing variable to the new variable based on some computation on the data. Okay, so based on this average data, I have computed rank for those data based on the average. Since I have given this as, just check for the variable view. You can see rank here. Just remove this decimal and replace 2 as 0. Now you can see only the first point. You don't see the decimal points. Okay. So this is how we can transform or recode our data to a different variable. Now, how to handle the missing values in our data? So let me add few more let me add few variables with missing values. For example, male 54, 60, So totally I have included 5 records here with missing values in each record. Okay, how to replace this missing value? So for that you can use this transform menu, then use this replace missing value. It will ask for the variable to replace the missing value. First of all, I will choose math score. Then it will create new variable in the name of math score underscore 1. So here I have set it as mean. So series means it will calculate based on the other 334 values. Okay. So let me paste. Okay. Click on OK. So you can see in the output box, you can able to see a result variable. So for that variable math score 1, the number of missing values is 1. That is number of replaced missing value 1. So the first cases counting value is 1 to 335 records. We have replaced based on the series mean. Now you can able to see one more variable here, math score 1. So this math value is replaced using the series mean and it is a 65.4. Got it? In the same way, we can replace missing value in the other variable. So totally, if you see this result variable, totally we can able to see how many missed values are replaced. So for reading score 1, the two missed values has been replaced, and for writing score 2, for average 5, rank 5, because we don't have average and rank for these 5 recently included records. Okay, now you can able to see this record as. Now check for the difference. Okay, so based on the series mean, it will calculate the average as well as the rank. So this is how we can replace our missing values in the data set. Now how to use this? Split cases, split file. Okay, so if I want to split the file based on the gender, then I should sort the file by grouping variables. So I want to group the variables based on the gender and click on OK. So the split file has been done by gender. Okay. Let me open the original data set again so that we can see. So the data set is split first based on the gender. The first it's split based on the gender. So the first few records displays the female gender, and the last records, that is from 162 to 335 records, is based on the female. So this is how we can split the cases based on some variable. Okay, now you can split weight cases. You can choose this weight cases. So I'm using math mean as a frequency variable. Then click on OK. Since we didn't calculate frequency for the particular variable, it doesn't give any value. Okay. So in this split into file, we can split our data set into different separate files. For example, if I want to split the file based on the gender, then I can use this split data, split into file based on the gender. If you want to create or write a new output or output directory, you can be choose. Then output file name, for example, I want to file as out1 dot save. So my output file will be saved in this 7 days SPSS out1. Okay, so output directory, I'm using this directory. For example, let me create one new folder here, out. So let me use this directory for saving output file. So then click on OK. Now check this folder. You can see two separate SPSS statistical files. So one is named as female and other one is named as male, because in this data we have split into cases based on the gender. So you can see the SPSS file here. So files and values and file names for split file written in this directory in the name of female.sav and in this directory in the name of male.csv. Okay, got it? Okay. So you have any doubts? So if you have query on these steps or these functionalities, just ask me now. In the next session, we will see illustrative statistics in SPSS. That is how to generate graph and what is meant by how to measure this independent and repeated measures. So what are the graphs to be used for independent measure, as well as other types of graphs should be used for repeated measures. Okay. So do you have any queries regarding this session? Please repeat the split data function. Okay, ma'am. So we have this. Okay, let me open the new data set. Open this day 1 data set again. So now you all can able to see the data set 1, day 1 and day 1 data set. So initially this data set is composed of 4 variable. First one is gender, second one is math score, third one is reading, fourth one is writing score. So actually what she asked me to, she asked me to do again the split case. Okay, for that I have to choose. So for doing the split file, we have two split options. So one is you can split in the given data set itself, or if you want to save that splitted file into different location for later use. Okay, so for that, first let me use this split file. I want to split this group based on the gender. So I'm choosing this compare groups or organize output by groups. So based on the gender. Okay, so let me click on OK. You can see this original file will be rewritten as the first yearly records will composed of female records, then the rest of the records will composed of male records, male cases. Okay, so this is how we can use split file here. So based on the split option, we can split our data set in the frame itself. So if you want to split the data set and you want to save that for later use, then choose this split into files. You can select gender here, then write your output files to indicated directory, then choose this directory, and I have creating one more directory, output 1. I'm choosing this for writing my output here, or it should be okay, new folder. I didn't do any renaming, so new folder itself, and browse. I'm using this out. File name output 1, save, then click on OK. Now check. So we can able to see two files here. So let me open this with the SPSS. Okay, so we contain so the data set is composed of 158 female records. Okay, let me note it down. The data set is composed of 158 female and so rest of others are male. Okay, let me open this output saved file into SPSS. Open this female.sav. So it's an extension of SPSS statistics. Now you can see only 159 records. Okay, now let me open and male output file. Open this male. Now you can able to see 171 records. So out of 335 records, 158 records are of female and 170 records are male. Okay, any query on this? If you have any query, please ask me. Hello. Hello, am I audible? If you have any queries, please ask me. Hello. Then shall I stop sharing my screen now? Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You can go back. No?
So actually variable are of two types. Let me share my screen again. Huh?
Mariappan sir cancer student feelings.
Actually, Dr. Mariappan sir asked me how to that is he want to make you to understand the categorical and nominal values. So let me give some introduction on the types of variables. Okay. So allow me to share my screen now. So you guys are able to see my screen now? Okay, okay, sir. Just give me a moment, sir. Okay, so basically there are two types of variables. Okay. Basically there are two types of variables. So the first one is categorical variable. So the next one is continuous variable. So what's mean by categorical and what is mean by continuous variable? So categorical variable is the variable which is composed of many categories. For example, if you consider the name variable, and it must contains many categories because the name should not be same for everyone. Okay. Then you can, for example, you can say categories yes or no, then educational qualification. So those are considered as a categorical variable. Then what is meant by continuous variable? So continuous variable is used to represent the numeric value in terms of intervals or ratios. Okay. So for example, categorical variable is again categorized into three major categories. So the first one is binary. The second one is nominal. And the third one is ordinal. Okay. So what's mean by binary? So if the variable contains yes or no, true or false, only two categories. For example, gender, female or male. So these types of variables are called as binary variables. So the variables which are composed of only two categories is called as binary variable. So what is mean by nominal variable? So this nominal variable should have more than two categories. Okay. For example, if you are choosing departments, college departments, for example, Each college might have many different departments like physics, computer science, chemistry, EC, triple E. So this is one of the type of nominal variable. Then what is ordinal variable? So if you have to enter your data in the ordered format, for example, you cannot directly enter your marks for UG or PG. So first of all, you have to enter the marks for 10th standard, then 12th, then UG, then PG, then MPhil, after that PhD. Okay, got it? So this type of variable is called as ordinal variable. So the categorical variable is composed of three main categories. The first one is binary, next one is nominal, and third one is ordinal. So then what is meant by continuous variable? So whenever the variable is composed of the values in terms of intervals. For example, a variable that can be ordered with a distance or level between each category that is equal and statistics. So the interval should be equal and statistics and static. For example, the interval should not be changed, and the difference between the each category should be equal. So this is called as intervals. For example, if I want to calculate 24 hours observation, so the interval will be 1 day. So the difference should be each category should be 1 day. Okay, then what? The continuous variable again further into ratio, based on the ratio. It has one different from an interval variable. The ratio between the score provides information about the relationship between responses. So it has one major difference between the intervals, that is, it will give the ratio. That is, for example, if you want to choose 20:40 or basically 60% to 70%. Okay, so this type of variables are called as continuous variable. So basically variables are of two types. So first one is categorical variable and second one is continuous variable. Again, the categorical variable is composed of three major categories. The first one is binary, the second one is nominal, and the third one is ordinal. Continuous variable is again composed of two types. I mean, the continuous variable can be represented by the two major categories. The first one is interval based and second one is the ratio based. I think I have answered for Dr. A. Mariappan sir question. Sir, is it clear now? Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, in statistics, we can choose the statistical technique based on the variable type itself. For example, let me summarize the statistical test based on the variable type that you have. For example, let me say, if our data is nominal, that is, it is a categorical variable, then you can use chi-square and McNamara test. So these are the types of stats test. Okay, statistical test. So if your data is ordinal, then you can use ordinal regression. then Spearman-Rouse method, then Mann-Whitney test, Wilcoxon test, then path analysis, factor analysis. So if your data is composed of ordinal data, then you can choose any of the statistical method for the analyzation. So if your data is composed of continuous variable, for example, interval and ratio based continuous variable, then you can choose t-test, ANOVA, that is analysis of variance, Pearson R for checking the correlation, and t-test, ANOVA are used for checking for the difference among the variables, then beta correlation, then multiple regression. Okay. So based on the type of the variable, we can choose the statistical test for analyzing our data. Anything else? Scale should be considered as ordinal or interval data when sample is large. Ma'am, I couldn't understand your question, ma'am. Okay. Of course. No, actually, if you are representing in terms of words or I mean, for example, if you give some ranking for, if it is strongly agree, then it is rename it as 5. Then you can choose as interval data. If you are using the category as words, for example, strongly agree, agree, disagree, then it is considered as the ordinal data. Got it, ma'am?